Hey,
we're back.
I think we're back. We will
Look.
see soon enough. Let us know, guys. Now, wow, this is like just ridiculous. Thank you, YouTube. Right in the middle of our podcast.
I know, huh? Especially in the good part of our podcast.
Yeah, we're just getting into the Clone Wars part of it. Let's wait for people to show up. Okay, guys, let's get back into what we're talking about with
Yeah, we got it going again.
yeah, we're definitely going again, but
There's only two of us online.
yeah, well, it takes time for people to come back. We'll wait another 30 seconds until everybody shows back up.
Yeah. Hey, I'm back.
Oops, wrong one.
Uh-oh.
What happened there?
I don't know. We're kind of blurry.
Didn't do anything. There we go.
Jay says we're back.
Yeah. I did something with the camera which made it blurry.
There we go. That looks better.
Sorry about that, guys. It's I have the highest connection internet you could buy. It's like almost $100 a month, and it's still knocked us off. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about with all you guys. Thank you guys for joining us back again. Please let everybody know we're back. Thank you, Virginia. It's really sad when you, like I said, I spend almost $100 a month, and I can't. The internet. I have the highest speed. It's 300 or 400, something like 300 something. Dave would be able to tell me. Megabytes per second. It's ridiculous that that the stream would go off. But let's get back into the happy mode. And we just finished up talking about Bloodshot. We're starting to talk about the Star Wars clone episode that just came out yesterday on Friday the 13th. It's called Unfinished Business. And what did you think about that, Captain Rickster?
I thought it was a great cartoon. I mean, I enjoyed it, especially in the ending.
Right.
That was
the ending got to me, and we did give it an official rating, and I'm going to have to edit this on our podcast later.
Yep.
In this video, but I gave it 4.5 stars. What is your rating?
Same.
Okay.
Same. Yeah, because I really enjoyed it. They found it. He had to prove himself, which is good.
Right.
For confidence, for those
Echo,
guys,
yeah.
For Echo to be able to be trusted by
the Bad Batch.
Bad Batch, yes. Mm-hmm. And it was also great too that they asked him if he wanted to come along. Okay,
so yeah, let's get into the spoilers part of it. In this episode, at the beginning, they're wondering where Echo's loyalties are because he was actually giving the enemy all the information, and they're able to, because they had this algorithm that they're able to predict based on, basically tying Echo up into this computer system. That's which is horrible, yeah. And they really tore him up. So, so we have Echo here with the generals Mace Windu, Anakin Skywalker, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're still trying to take back the planet Anaxis from Admiral Trench. So, Echo, like we mentioned, he proposes his plan, and after undertaking a stealth mission to board the Trench's command ship, Echo will then report back to Windu and Kenobi with the Separatist next orders because he'll be the one to suggest them. So, and he talks about once he's plugged in, he could feed. He was able to feed them information once he plugs into the Trench,
right?
Because he was plugged in before. The episode does have a lot of really, really cool action.
Oh, yes, it does. Yeah.
In fact, I think someone I saw on Facebook, I don't remember who it was, they were talking about some of the action reminded them of The Mandalorian.
That's true. Yes.
Because you got the Bad Batch characters, and they're always trying to one up on each other. You got Wrecker, who is all upset that it's a stealth mission.
Yes.
I want to wreck there. I want to wreck everything. I want to wreck everything. You know how Wrecker is.
Okay, Edmund G. Robinson, cool it.
So he wants to wreck everything and blow everything up, right?
That's right.
And he doesn't like stealth missions. And then you got Deadshot. Or no, Crosshairs, not Deadshot. Crosshairs that is trying to, as he's running away, he's, throwing these things. So when he shoots, it bounces off.
Yeah, they're mirrors.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh.
That was definitely cool.
Yes, it really was. So anyway, so that the action was great in it. And then at the end, Wrecker did get his opportunity, didn't he?
Oh, yes, he did.
He got to blow up the whole thing.
And he was honored by it.
Yes. Yeah. I liked it. I liked the episode. I really enjoyed seeing Master Mace Windu, General Windu, especially when he was trying to talk his way, or he's talking to these stupid robots, thinking that they're going to listen to him. I mean, come on, give me a break.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So that was kind of funny, that part of it. What else would happen in an episode?
That bug that insect got killed.
Who?
That bug insect. Look, I don't know.
Oh, at the end.
Yeah.
At the end, he thought that because Anakin was a Jedi, he wouldn't
kill him.
He wouldn't kill him, but we all know what happened to Anakin later when he became Darth Vader. Little did he know, right?
Yep, you know.
Yeah. So because of all this, they're able to trick all the droid forces to converge in this one area location, and they're able to, blow them all up, basically. Echo triggers a power surge that ripples across all of those and wipes them all out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, at the end, you have, him blowing up the whole thing. And then we have at the very end the thing that Captain Rickster mentioned, and it got to me because Captain Rickster is, served our country, and at the end, they're talking. Echo's talking with Captain Rex, and he seems to fit in with this Bad Batch.
Yeah, he does.
And Rex says, "If you fit in, go with them." So he decides to go with the Bad Batch and become part of their newest person. And then he turns around and he salutes Captain Rex, and then the rest of the Bad Batch, they all salute him right at the end. Salute to you, yeah.
Yep.
So that's the end of the Clone Wars, and
that was actually a good show. It was
good. It was good.
So if you haven't seen it, I would definitely watch it.
I wonder where they're going to go next, because this is the end of this
series.
Well, it's not the end of the series, but end of the little four-part arc that they did. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen next week. So where are they going to go? We haven't seen Ahsoka Tano yet.
No.
I'm sure she's coming up in this next episode, maybe.
Probably.
And coming back to YouTube Live, thank you, Virginia. Thank your dad for serving in the Navy. That's great. That's awesome.
Cool.
Let's go ahead and talk about Star Trek Picard.
Oh, yes. Another good one.
Wow, guys. This Star Trek, again, they had to swear, but it didn't bother me as much.
No,
I guess I'm starting to get used to it.
Because Picard really needed to have his face slapped there for a minute.
Yeah, I guess he did. There was another F word in Picard, but it didn't bug me when it came from the other admiral,
right?
Telling him, So basically, we're talking about Star Trek Picard, Broken Pieces. And this is episode 8.
Right.
And at AllForSciFi, we have, of course, you know this because you've joined us. We have a 0 to 5 rating system. 5 stars is the best. If it's 3 or below, you don't need to stream it. If it's in a movie, we don't recommend you go pay for a movie ticket. In this case, it's Star Trek Picard is on CBS All Access. So we wouldn't recommend, if it's 3 or below, we wouldn't recommend you streaming it. But let's go ahead and give the official rating of Star Trek Picard Episode 8. I'm going to give it its second 5-star rating of the season. This episode is 5 stars all the way. I really, really like this episode. There was so much greatness in it. In fact, when I was looking online at some other reviews, they're saying that this episode is pure gold. It's really that good. It's really one of the best Star Trek episodes. Of course, it's one of the best of the season. It gets 5 stars, but it was just good on so many different levels. Basically, what's in it reminded me a lot of what was going on with Discovery in its second season too. By the way, it's really getting good. So it starts off with the episode, and we're going to get into spoilers now and discussion. So in this episode, it starts off with, it goes back, it does a flashback. They go back 14 years, and you see these Romulan hooded figures, which kind of reminded me a little bit of the Jedi.
Right.
So you see these Romulan hooded figures. It's a group of, I think it was maybe 10 women. They're all in black hooded outfits.
Yeah.
Those outfits actually did resemble the ones from Dune a little bit.
Right, they did, yes.
And they're basically around this formation, and we find Commander O is with them, these Romulans.
Yep.
And we later find out in the episode that she's really half Romulan and half Vulcan.
Yep.
And she was planted into the Federation. This is a whole thing. This has started happening 14 years ago. And we find that they're basically going on the premise that this is something that happened a couple 100,000 years ago.
Right.
That is why the Romulans are so against synthetics and want to eliminate them. Because apparently a couple 100,000 years ago, and this one part of the galaxy or part of the universe, synthetics were created, and what happened wasn't good.
Right.
So this goes back 14 years ago, like it has so many times. And we have Commander O, and Commander O is sitting there talking to all of them, and she's telling them about how their four mothers came to the system. It's a cluster of 8 stars, which didn't just happen by accident.
True.
It was these 8 stars are all placed in this one area. And what they were able to do is it became like the storehouse of preserved memories that show the grim fate of what's going to happen, what happened in the past because of that perished long ago because of these synthetics that took over. And as the episode starts and we fly into the atmosphere and zoom into the planet, the planet's called Aia, the Grief World.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it actually I did recognize it from when Dr. Girardi had that vision with Commander O.
Right.
That mind meld from last week. I recognized that.
Right.
And coming back to YouTube, Virginia says this episode was very emotional. Are you talking about the Clone Wars or are you talking about Picard? Let me know. So I'll continue. So, at this point, we still don't know the name of this race that left behind this object and warning everybody in the future of what could come when there's this annihilation comes from the skies because of synthetics, basically. So we have this group of 10 women. They're talking about all that, and that is basically how the Zhat Vash, I think I'm saying it right, Zhat Vash. That's how they started. That's how they became the Zhat Vash, even something that's even scarier than the Tal Shiar, which is interesting. What else? So, I mean, we learn that we see this planet. Commander O basically tells them, look into see what's going to happen in the future and touch that. And she warns them that some of you people, it might scare you so much you'll go crazy. You may want to kill yourself after seeing this. And of course, after they put their hands there, they start seeing how the world's in the future. It's in the past. They're showing what happened in the past. We don't know that this could happen in the future,
Right.
but it's a warning. And some of them, after looking at that, one of the ladies blows her brains out. Another one, some of them are pulling their hair out. They're going crazy. And Narissa, we find out, is her aunt is one of the girls that got assimilated on the Borg artifact. We find that they're really related too. We find out the Commander O is half Vulcan, half Romulan. So that was set up very nicely by the writers.
Right.
Hey, coming back to YouTube. Hey, Dante, what's up? How you doing today? Here in California, it's a very rainy day. It's been raining the last 2 or 3 days, in fact.
Yes, it has.
Yeah. So basically, after that happens, we end up going to back to the ship, and Picard and Soji beam aboard the La Sirena, and Rios is like staring at her, and he's like freaking out at Soji, and Picard tells him, what's the nearest star base, and he says Starbase 12. And he says, well, lay in a course for it as quick as you can. And Rios is freaking out at looking at Soji.
Yeah.
He's just freaking out. We're wondering why. And he goes, okay, I'll lay in a course, but this is the last thing I'm going to do. And after we get there, you're on your own. And he disappears. So a lot of this episode, Rios is having this issue. And we find out later that he had an encounter with his captain. And Jana was her name?
Yeah,
Jana, who looks like Soji, but maybe another synthetic that was created.
Right.
And apparently these synths went and had first contact in the past with Captain Rios and his captain, and Commander O knew that they were synthetics and told the captain, "You need to kill them, otherwise we're going to blow up your ship." So that's what happened to That's what happened to Rios. Is Rios the reason why he got out? We find out why he got out of Starfleet. How his captain had murdered these synths, and then he went so hard at his captain that his captain blew his brains out, and that's really what said. So in this Soji looks just like Jana, which was one of the synthetics that they met earlier. So. And then we get back. We see Elnor on the artifact because he was left, and he's fighting with these Romulans. And guess who shows up?
9 of 7.
No, 9 of 7.
Okay, 7 of 9.
7 of 9 shows up. Jerry Ryan is back, and that's wonderful.
Oh, it was, especially when he gave her a hug.
Yeah. And then later he goes, "Are you gonna assimilate me?" That was so cute.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on, Captain Rickster? Keep it together.
Your microphone over here.
Oh,
it's not staying like it's supposed to. And it's tight.
Okay.
It's tight as heck, and it still wants to go flopping all over the world.
yeah. Well, we'll fix that. Okay, so the one thing we never see in this entire episode is we don't see Narek at all in this episode, except for right at the end. I think that's him. I think that's Narek that follows them, the ship, right at the end.
Oh, yeah, it's right at the end. Yeah.
We don't know it, but I think it is. Yeah. So, hey, coming back to YouTube Live, we're doing the All4Sci-Fi podcast. We're talking about Star Trek Picard. Hello, Italy. Hey guys, I hope you guys in Italy, I wish you guys all the best. I know your country's being hit hard with this coronavirus. Note that you are in our prayers. And hello from Italy. So.
Yes, really.
Okay.
Did you read what Dan?
Dante. Oh, yeah.
said?
Okay, Dante. Yeah, it's cold there.
No.
Everybody's buying up everything, Dante. We were just talking about it early in the podcast. We went to Ralph's today. And there was nothing there.
They're selling hand sanitizer for $1,000.
Well, they need to go to jail, whoever's doing that.
No kidding. Because
there's a law against that in the United States. You cannot raise prices. Otherwise, you could go to jail. That's a crime. But yeah, thank you, Nunzio. We're praying for you. I think if there's a positive outlook to this, Nunzio, is if your country's getting hit hard right now, then it's only going to get better.
That's true.
And you're going to get over it before we do.
That's right.
And we're going to have to go through some hard times as well.
Yep.
That's funny, Virginia. Well, Devaney stole the AllForSciFi hat. Okay. So basically, 7 of 9 shows up and basically saves Elnor from this really long, terrible fate, and she helps him. Then later in the episode, at one point, then she realizes that she's going to try to take over the cube. So 7 of 9 becomes a Borg again.
Yep.
For a brief period of time, she plugs herself in through her spinal cord system, and she's going to take it over. But right as she's doing that, Narissa and her captain or commander gentleman comes up with the idea to jettison all the Borg into space.
Yep.
So a lot of them get jettisoned, but not enough of them, because it was great when we saw the Borg take Narissa down. That was wonderful.
That was. Now, we don't know if she's passed on.
We don't know.
Or is she just vanished?
Right, we don't. In the meantime, you get to see more of these holograms, these like the one that does the engineering, the one that does navigation. And let me tell you something. This actor who's Santiago Cabrera, who's playing the Rios character, what a great part.
Yeah, I know.
What actor would love to be able to play himself in all these different parts? Yeah. He's Scottish. He's doing English. He's doing kind of a nerdy character. He's doing a hospitality character. He's doing one that's more groomed better, and all these characters. At one point, Rafi gathers all of them together to try to find out what's going on with Rios, because he bugged out when he saw Soshi. So he bugged out and took off, and he's in his quarters drinking himself. And we later find out why, because of the stuff that happened with his captain and Jana and his captain killing those other synths because of Commander O. I gotta say, the writing on Star Trek Picard, other than saying the F word, is some of the best writing that I've seen on television in a long time.
That's right.
And I did say something that bugged me about the show last week, but it doesn't bug me when the writing is this good. What was bugging me about these newer Star Trek shows, as opposed to the original Star Trek and The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and all of them, those shows seem to have a beginning, middle, and end, and then the next episode it went on another journey.
Right.
These newer Star Trek shows, they tend to have these longer arcs, and they go on for longer, like a whole season to be about what we're doing right now with the artifact. And that's okay. It's different. And I know they did it. Sometimes they did it in the original Star Trek, the Next Generation, and original Star Trek. They would have like 2-part episodes. Sometimes they even had 3 and 4-part arcs, like Deep Space Nine, if I remember correctly. But that bugged me, but it's not bugging me. The writing is really, really strong in this show. Stop saying the F word, guys. It's not necessary. It was okay last week because Captain Picard had it coming.
Yes, but no.
We don't need to do. We don't need to do it all the time.
No,
be more creative. But yeah, so eventually Rafi, she gets all these holograms together and she puts everything together, and she's also putting together what's going on with Soshi as well. And at first she thought that this group of 8 was people, but then she later found out it was a planetary system, the 8 suns. And it was a meeting place where they talked about what happened. And one of the hopeful messages about this episode of Picard is the fact that Picard says to later, when Rios has finally come out of it a little bit, and they're having this great conversation about his captain and how he loved him. Picard is, and so Rios tells Picard, how do we not know that she isn't going to be the destroyer and all that other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm,
and Picard said, well, that was what happened 200,000 years ago. Our future is not written. So it had that great thing that Star Trek has about how we write our own future. and it may be different this time. So she may not be the destroyer. Let's find out. We know that we're very different than they were a couple 100,000 years ago, and that was a great message that Picard gave Captain Rios. And then they have a conversation around dinner, and then so she gets mad, jumps up, she takes over the ship, and she's going to take the ship to her home world because she realizes that the Romulans are probably already on their way to her home world. So, and she ends up giving the ship back to Rios and says, "Please take me home. I want to warn my people." I think she has discovered now that she really is from this home world of synthetics. Like, apparently there's this whole world of synthetics out there. And after the episode ends, we even see on the net, when it says what's coming up next, it looks like we're going to get to see the home world of the synths. We're going to get to see Soji's home world where she was born. It looks great, guys. The next episode, believe it or not, the next episode looks better than this one. And this one, we gave it 5 stars.
That's right.
Wow. Great, great show. If you haven't seen it, I recommend everybody this episode, Star Trek Broken Pieces, gets 5 stars. What rating did you give it, Captain Richter? I don't think you said.
No, you didn't. You let me to. Did you keep on?
I know I'm talkative today.
Yes, you are, which is unusual.
Right? It's unusual that I'm talkative.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to give it the same as you did, 5.0, because it was really great. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It had great writing in it. The actors portrayed this thing as perfectly as possible. I did like how Rios had all these little people of himself out there working while he was getting drunk in his room.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your turn.
I don't know, guys. It's going to be a long couple weeks not going to Disneyland. Wait a minute. Somebody just said that online. Captain Richter, wake up. Hey, you're sleeping. This dude's always taking a nap, dude.
Someone's got to.
It's going to be, it's going to be okay, guys. And as we mentioned earlier, too, and we'll bring that up here real quick before we end this podcast, Joshua Schaefer sent us this. We're talking about Disneyland in our live trivia game. He sent us this book that has over 3,000, and he sent us an extra one, so we're going to give it away on the show.
See what you did?
Captain Richter.
See what you did?
Report to the Captain Richter, please report to the office.
Can I
You're in
get
trouble.
Somebody to fix this again?
Captain Richter, you're in trouble. You have to report to the principal's office. Wait a minute, there's no school anymore.
That's right. I'm out for 3 weeks. Won't see my friends no more.
We've been talking, guys. It's going to be a long couple of weeks for all of us in this world. And we're thinking about maybe doing a couple extra episodes during the week. We were even talking about maybe even doing, taking maybe some of the Star Trek episodes or some Star Wars stuff and doing reenactments of movies as well. Maybe play, like when we play our beginning, at the beginning, we have all those movie quotes at the beginning. Thinking about maybe, redoing those, some of the famous scenes, or we'll have some fun, guys. That's what it's about. We're going to try to, make this, we're going to all get through this together.
That's
for sure.
True. So what do they do, Virginia? They closed down Chuck E. Cheese and Peter Piper's?
Peter Piper's?
Yeah.
What the heck are you talking about?
Well, it's restaurants here that Virginia, they said that they can't even go there. So I wonder if they closed them down.
Oh, okay.
Because of all this.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. It's a pretty serious thing what's going on, guys. But like this, well, we, later. Hold on.
Okay.
How do DeLorean? Bye, boys. Have done the castle. Going to work.
Okay, people. He is just lost it, people. As you can tell, he's just lost it.
Stop saying that. I see dead people. They're stupid. They're all around me buying toilet paper.
That's definitely true.
I am Groot. You said that.
That's right. You just said that already.
Why so serious? Why are you buying so much toilet paper, everybody?
Because a lot of them have big booties, and they need to clean them better.
Yeah. I don't get the toilet paper thing, guys. I don't get it.
That and paper towels and everything else.
Yeah, maybe we could sing the Yub Nubs Ewok song too, and we could do some. Guys, why not? Maybe a couple times during the week we'll jump on and we'll do something. I also talked about maybe helping when I'm composing stuff, doing a couple of those because I'm in the midst of doing the Mandalorian theme, which is a very complex theme. It's also very unusual chord structure that Ludwig did for the Mandalorian, but the Mandalorian theme is great. It's really good, and I'm not done with it, but I'm really far into it. So I might come on and do a live thing where I'm working on it. Let you guys see the process of putting together some songs as well. So that would be fun.
Right.
But yeah. So in this episode, we learn more and more about Commander O coming back to Star Trek. And how Commander O really set all this stuff up. She actually did the Mars thing. So Rafi was right.
But she also worked her way up in the ranks to get where she was at.
Yeah, no, she did. But she's really set all this stuff because the Romulans, really hate synthetics.
Oh, yeah.
So, so, I mean, it's the episodes just keep getting better and better for Star Trek Picard. So I'm excited to see that. Also excited, we said this earlier, that the Rise of Skywalker is out digitally now.
Yep.
So you could go and they released it 4 days earlier. Disney was nice enough to release the Rise of Skywalker. So if you haven't seen it, you could actually order it online, the Rise of Skywalker, with some extras now and watch it. And also Frozen 2 is going to be on Disney Plus this Sunday, so tomorrow.
Right.
They're releasing it months early. So thank you, Disney, for doing all that. Disney Plus, can you please release the Ewok movies?
That would
please?
be nice. That would be nice.
Since none of us could go anywhere anymore.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So that would be nice. And it's awesome. Yeah. It's not on Disney Plus. I know I said that incorrectly, but yeah, the Rise of Skywalker you could buy digitally. That release date was earlier. But yeah, I got some new pops over there from the Mandalorian actually. The Covert Mandalorian and a couple other ones, the Incinerator one.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. So and the Child was out at Hot Topics. The Child pop, the Baby Yoda was out, but it sold out. I didn't get it. So dang it. I have to wait until May. So, or the end of April.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We had a lot of fun today. It was a fun show. We're trying to, we got to pray for each other in this world, guys. We got to pray for each other. It's people are being very scared, and with good reason. It's okay to be scared. This is just a bad virus.
That's definitely true.
So I would recommend everybody 2 or 3 times a week. I would do 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, at least 2 or 3 days a week to build your immune system. So that if you do somehow catch it, that you're able to fight it off easier. But
a lot quicker.
Yeah, definitely. But this will go away, guys. It will go away, and hopefully we'll be back to normal. Hopefully, because I'm supposed to go to Germany here in May.
Yep.
And I just got word that they want me to be in Belgium the week after. So I might be in Europe for a couple weeks in May, and unless there's travel restrictions. If that's the case, I'm not going to be in Europe.
And nobody will be.
Yeah. So, and we got to get back to Disneyland, right?
That's definitely true. I miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. So, yeah, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Again, as we always say at the end of our podcast, do something nice, one act of kindness with somebody this week. Because if you do that, it might rub off and somebody else might do something kind for somebody. And the way the world is, we'd all need to be nicer to each other for sure.
Yes,
be a nice guy, like my dad always told me to do, and I fall short sometimes, but I try.
Yeah, preach what you say.
Yeah, well, I try. I'm not
all
perfect.
Right. Everybody have a good week. Everybody stay safe. Don't try to stay away from this virus. Don't get sick. If you do, stay in. Take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Go to the hospital if you have to, because I know they'll be able to take care of you there even better than you will at home.
Uh-huh.
Don't stay. Try to stay. Have plenty of water, so you don't be dehydrated either.
Yeah, and if you do go out somewhere, I mean, I kind of always did a little bit of this anyway because I was always scared I was going to get the flu or a cold. But take some paper towels or napkins and touch the doors with them instead. Or if you got gloves, you could put gloves on when you're out. I know my wife has gloves because she's a manicurist and she does nails. But if you don't, if you have a napkin, touch the door with the napkins. Don't touch anything.
That's
I know it sounds crazy, but just don't do it, at least for a month.
Yeah, at least.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Eric Walker.
I'm Captain Rickster. Have a great week.
Have a great week. Stay blessed. God bless everybody.
Yes.
And God bless the world.
Yes, definitely.
Bye-bye.